Dire team ban.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Next Game Invitational. This is going to be the finals, best of 5, between MSI.EVO and Mineski. So we got, like, computer sponsors going up against computer sponsors in a war to determine who's the best computer sponsor. We'll see. It should be very interesting. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by Grandis for this best of 5, and dude, this is actually starting pretty late for C standards, so I don't know how much fatigue is going to factor into this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like 11 p.m. over there and a full best of 5 in theory. We could be going into very early next morning for both of these teams. So, yeah, it is going to be very interesting as far as both of these teams matching up head-to-head. We don't really have very much information as MSI.EVO, at least in this current iteration, haven't been playing together for that long. That said, all of these players know each other pretty darn well. They've been on teams together, shuffled around during numerous tournaments around the Philippine scene, and this should be a pretty interesting matchup. I'd say it's pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, you guys probably would know most of these MSI guys from being on Rave. Rave has since disbanded, and I don't know where everyone went, but most of them ended up here, so that's always a good sign. If you're a Rave fan, then most likely you're going to enjoy what MSI have to bring to the board. But Mineski, no slouches either. I mean, we just saw them, what, 2 days ago, just destroy First Departure, like 40 minutes of game time total for the best of 3. Your games have to go really, I guess for Mineski, really right if that is ever going to happen, as usually games should take longer than that.
As far as the first couple bans are concerned, we're going to see Earthshaker and Winter Wyvern very highly prized in these first couple ban slots, which is going to leave things like Gyrocopter, Tusk inside the pool, Dazzle, and a bunch of heroes for his teams to pick through.
And it should be the Gyrocopter first. Maybe they want to go for a Queen of Pain, but honestly, with so many powerhouse heroes, it doesn't really matter too much. When you have a best of 5, or really when you have any series longer than 1, really, you develop kind of like a mini metagame where the previous games really do define the future games as far as the picks and bans are concerned. Obviously, that's not going to apply in this one. It's just game 1, but look forward to that in the future games. Like, it really depends a lot more on what these teams pick up right now. That'll determine what they pick up in game 2, game 3, if necessary, 4 and 5.
Yeah, and, well, MSI are going to take their time with this first pick, and really, I think this is probably a little too much time. There are a lot of heroes that they should be mulling through, but Gyrocopter kind of seems like he's the best all-around pick.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with the Gyrocopter. Like, there you go. I think we are all in agreement. Gyrocopter is a pretty good hero. I have seen him go mid, actually, a couple times. Not a huge fan of it, but it does do pretty well, so I think I'm, like, starting to turn a corner there. But hey, when you have a hero that can be played anywhere, even an offensive tri-lane is one of the stronger carry heroes in that. Hell, even an offensive dual lane with like a Witch Doctor can be really successful. There's really just no reason to not pick this hero. But Mineski, there aren't really many great counters to the Gyrocopter as far as applying pressure to him super early. You really have to just apply a lot of consistent pressure.
Yeah, and this will do just that with the Lina Queen of Pain. Lina presumably played as support this game. But there is that flexibility when you pick up these two heroes. There's a lot of different ways you can lane Lina and the Queen of Pain. They're good at roaming around the map and setting up kills. Even on Gyrocopter, the amount of consistent bursts throughout the game is going to be difficult for Gyrocopter to deal with pre-BKB. And if Lina gets a sufficient amount of farm and Agnum Scepter comes out from her, even BKB won't be enough. So I think it's a good start for Mineski.
Yeah, a hell of a lot of burst for sure, and burst that will potentially be just pure damage. I don't really like these two heroes as an opening, mostly because I really like Lina in the mid lane, and I really like Queen of Pain in the mid lane as well, and obviously you're not going to have both of them mid, so something's got to give, but Lina as a support, if you do get any sort of farm, you can just be a powerhouse. A fast Eul Scepter, if you can get it, can set up for so many solo kills as a support, and really supports aren't supposed to be getting that many kills, or shouldn't be able to set up kills just by themselves. It really is something dirty that pretty much only Lina can do. Maybe like Spirit Breaker sometimes, Tusk sometimes, but yeah, right now just Mineski with a lot of magic damage. So MSI, they have to try to avoid these fragile heroes. Maybe even think about already going for someone like a Rubik. Not a second pick, but you know, third or fourth. Get that null field going. Also works very well with the Gyrocopter.
For now, it's going to be a Clockwork, although he's not going to be 100% reliable against Queen of Pain. He's good at isolating out the Lina, and if you get an early Blade Mail on this Clockwork, I could see this pick really working out for them, especially since it is on the dire side. But up until this point, all of these teams have just picked really par for the course heroes that are good in most situations. Not too much to read into it.
I like how MSI's heroes do work pretty well together, however, like Clockwork setting up for Gyrocopter's combo of well, rockets and then missiles and then everything, because technology seemingly works together, guys. Hookshot to get on top of this Queen of Pain, a great way to start off those fights, and usually it's a... They just skipped a ban?
Team ban.
Next level strategies, guys. Well, I liked MSI's picks. I'm not a huge fan of their bans.
I mean, it is going to leave plenty of heroes left into the next stage. Their drafter did not disconnect. Yeah, all of them, in fact. Yeah, Boombox did disconnect, but it's cast drafting, so that shouldn't be an issue. Are they really going for a no-ban strat? They're taking a lot of time with the second ban, too.
As far as I know...
Wait, what?
What?
Okay, so they banned the Tusk, but he goes into the first slot, so it's a Tusk ban.
So where will the empty slot be? Does every ban just shuffle up now? That makes sense. I think banning heroes is usually a good strategy. I know, I have radical thoughts, but that's just me. Okay, so we have a Tusk ban. When you have a Clockwork who wants to be initiating, who wants to be hookshotting, and when you have a Gyrocopter who is doing so much fast burst damage, something like a Snowball is really not what you want to go up against. Snowball, right after you call down your first missile, it hurts as a Gyrocopter.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the Templar Assassin ban is concerned, would have been a reasonable mid lane for MSI. A lot of physical damage there, and can be a lane that's annoying for the Queen of Pain. It's neither of those heroes can really kill each other. It's more or less just a wash.
Alright, so we'll see what MSI actually want to put in the mid lane. They, know that there's going to be a lot of lane control. If it's Lina, if it's Queen of Pain, going to be rough times regardless. So whoever does go there, perhaps going to need some help, and that's when you're looking towards heroes like Shaker and Wyvern. Yeah, they're banned out, but support heroes rather, that will probably just like to sit in the mid lane for a little while, spam out their mana pool. Someone like a Skywrath Mage, though incredibly fragile, works well with the Clockwork, will do a lot to help MSI's mid lane. Probably should be at least in consideration for them.
Yeah, and also great at disabling the Queen of Pain. Having that Ancient Seal is very important. For your team. We'll just have to wait and see. Mineski are up with the next pick, and well, they'll probably want to save their cards for a little bit later and just pick up another support here.
Yeah, or grab their off lane, something like that.
Yeah, like a Darkseer.
Yeah, Darkseer. I was just about to say that. You can't go wrong with the Darkseer, pretty much ever, but no, you're going to be correct. It's going to be that Witch Doctor pick for Mineski. Pretty safe, going with 3 int already. MSI, well, maybe they're going to be wishing they had a spot for an Anti-Mage right now, but right now, Mineski, they still have a lot of burst, and it's a CM. That is interesting.
It does help the lanes out quite a bit, especially Clockwork and Gyrocopter, but one of the disadvantages is you open yourself up to something like this, the Undying is going to be a huge nuisance to them, as Crystal Lane really would like to just be in the jungle and offer the aura for a team.
Yeah, Undying and Witch Doctor, that is a dangerous combination of heroes. Add Lina on top of that, we have Cask into an LSA, and well, CM isn't exactly a super tanky hero, and like 1 decay, I want to say brings her to 300-something HP, although I'm not completely sure on that. It gets disgusting how much health Crystal Maiden doesn't have when there's an Undying on the other end, but as far as using the aura in this game, all 3 of MSI's heroes now, except for the Crystal Maiden, really benefit highly from that aura. Like Gyrocopter even grabbing Missile level 1, which usually you don't really want to do because Rocket Barrage is so much better, because Flat Cannon is just so much better. If you have mana to spam out that skill, it is in consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. The Stormsphere might be under a lot of pressure inside this mid lane. The Queen of Pain, in general, has a pretty good matchup against the Storm, and we have Linas and Witch Doctors roaming into mid. That can be difficult. But if MSI can weather the storm that is this early game, this early laning stage, they have a lot of global potential with Clockwork and Storm. But now with the Bloodseeker pickup coming out from Mineski, this lineup is very scary. Mineski have a lot of tools to get ahead early and maintain that advantage throughout the game. This is going to be hard.
These are heroes that CM just does not want to see ever. It is, I think, Mineski, even without seeing MSI's last pick, just a draft advantage right now. They have so much that they could do in the early mid stages of the game, and yeah, I mean, Gyrocopter, Clockwork, they're fine at surviving these early game engagements, but really this is bringing the heat hard. Like, I don't think you could bring any more heat unless you grab a Tusk or a Bounty Hunter to start scaling. It's going to be difficult for MSI. They now grab a Lion. It's a fine hero and everything, you know, shutting down the Queen of Pain, giving the Storm Spirit potentially a little bit of help. It's all well and good, but Lion is a clunky hero, and when he's up against an Undying Witch Doctor, you get the exact same scenario as Crystal Maiden. Lion's slow. He can't exactly disengage from the Tombstone, from the cast, from, well, everything that Mineski have.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for MSI, I want to say. Counter ganks are going to be very important, making sure that the Storm Spirit doesn't get completely shut down. And if MSI ever get behind this game, they're going to find it very difficult to get back into it. Yeah, the laning stage is absolutely 100% important for MSI, even though Mineski have a default advantage there.
Alright guys, so we're going to be loading into Game 1 right now. Quick clerical stuff before we get going. This stream is of course helped out by esportgaming.com. Had odds at slightly favoring Mineski, and if you bet on them with this draft, I think you should probably be feeling pretty good about it. Also, aside from that, we're going to be having an Immortal giveaway after this best of 5, so all you C people, you might have to stay up a little bit late if you want to get involved in that, but one sub, one viewer going to be selected randomly, and you'll be getting some swag courtesy of HeflaTV. So you have to stick around for that, guys. You have to stick around to the very end. But for right now, let's see what these lanes are actually going to look like. With Mineski on the Radiant, they're going to put Jesse Vash as the Witch Doctor. Jules is playing the Lina. Trolley is on the Queen of Pain up towards top. We got Cuckoo on the Bloodseeker, and 1029 for now up there with the Undying.
Yeah, and for the MSI side, we're going to have Cass playing on the Crystal Maiden. Storm Spirit's going to be handled by DJ. Clockwork in the offlane by Rior. Lion going to be handled by Boombax, and that'll leave Gyrocopter played by Raven. Pretty interesting right now. Mineski looks like they want to lane the Lina mid. She's going to open up with a very stat-heavy build that isn't really seen from supports ever, and it is Jules playing on it. Bloodseeker's going to start with the Poor Man's Shield Tangos, and really, I have no idea how Mineski are going to settle. But yeah, with Cogs, Rior is going to get a bounce back onto Trolley, but a Paralyzed Cask will fly forward, and they blink over the Cogs. Trolley's committed hard here. He's going to get hexed up, and with a lot of right-click damage going his way, might be First Blood here, although the Tombstone's going to help disengage. Rior's being chased down, now turning. The Queen of Pain will be able to right-click down Rior, and that's going to be your First Blood, drawn by Jesse Vash.
I thought that once Queen of Pain levels up Blink and actually uses it there, she's just dead. There aren't many situations where you blink into a Lion who has Hex and other two heroes there, then you actually survive, let alone get a kill. So Trolley not really being punished as much as he should have been, but at the same time they did get the jump on the Clockwork, and I guess minor win, you force out Blink in the lane versus Clockwork. You really don't want to be going up against Shadow Strike, but hell, getting that kill, getting that death in your Clockwork, not exactly going to be good times. These lanes are actually just going to be completely dual lanes. I thought they were going to maybe commit a little bit harder to pressuring this Gyrocopter, but it seems like across the board, just with the overall strength of Mineski's heroes, they're going to have a laning advantage, and well, we already went over how bad that can be for MSI.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the Bloodseeker up in this top lane with the Undying, but yeah, outside of that, I think things have settled down in a pretty normal way. I would have expected the Queen of Pain to go top if they are going to lane the Lina mid, but my goodness, speak of the Lina mid, easy stun into the Dragon Slave, and that's a dead Storm.
Alright, well that shouldn't be happening for MSI, and well, for this matchup, yeah, Storm Spirit's going to typically struggle a little bit, but he actually only loaded out with one Tango, or I guess two shared Tangos, and he is going to struggle to actually get his bottle. Lina does have hers, at least potentially, on the way, so yeah, Storm Spirit already not exactly in great shape in this lane, and it's going to get worse for him. It's going to keep on getting worse until he grabs level 6, in which case it's going to get slightly better, but by the time he gets level 6, Jules will have had level 6 for quite a long time already.
Yeah. Across the board, it looks like Mineski are getting quite a substantial advantage in all of these lanes. The Bloodseeker isn't farming as much as maybe he'd like to, but even if he has a poor start, he can always rotate into the jungle, and there's nothing that MSI can do to punish it, since Crystal Maiden has not really showed herself in lane at all. She's just trying to level up inside the woods.
That's what Crystal Maidens should be looking to do. Storm Spirit, of course, does benefit quite heavily should he have a whole bunch of stacks in his own jungle. And CM, well, she'll take a couple of creeps here and there just to get her own experience flowing. But for Storm Spirit, especially after a solo death, would like to have a little bit of extra help there. If the CM can afford it, and usually CMs can't afford it, up towards top, it's a pretty weird dual lane here for the Mineski side. But hey, just having the constant spam of decay towards this Gyrocopter, who's already not super tanky, is going to mean that the Gyrocopter's not going to be CSing that well. Cuckoo's actually outlast hitting him.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much going to be the state of this top lane. Cuckoo did start out with Thirst, but now that he has the Blood Rage up and running, it's almost impossible for them to zone him out.
They could poke him a little bit, but Lion isn't getting a ton of experience right now, and Lion, as a support hero, does need to get a little bit of experience. He'll pull occasionally, and maybe he'll get involved in a kill, but yeah, Boombax, as he stands right now, just sitting in the mid lane, or top lane rather, poking and prodding at the Bloodseeker, pretty much doing no damage. That's not a successful way to actually play this Lion. He really needs level 3, really as does the CM, so these supports from MSI kind of inherently forced to play a very hands-off role, and well, we can already see how that's working out for them. They really need to get involved, I think, but they can't, and they're going to try to go for Cuckoo, but there's the Tombstone, and suddenly you can't fight anymore. They'll try to take down the Tombstone. It's only level 1 right now. There is a rocket flying towards Cuckoo, but they will actually clear off everything. Creep Wave being there, certainly helping out MSI in a big way.
Yeah, it is going to mean that they'll be able to disengage, but Bloodseeker will still be able to farm up this wave pretty much without any worry. The poor man shield running and the heal, that's more than enough, but mid lane, Paralyzing Cask.
Yeah, that's a really dead Storm Spirit. It was just a wraparound from Jesse Vash. Very patient, an angle you don't expect, because he was on bottom lane. He came as if he were on top lane. Even like for the most part, free-handed LSA. Cass is going to show himself versus Jules. I don't know if that's really what you want to be doing as a Crystal Maiden, because there's the LSA. Dragon Slave available, but will be cancelled out by a Hex. Boombax also has a level 1 spike to buy himself a little bit more time, but yeah, CM, that was awfully bold. You don't really want to mess with your sister like that, since Lina has now level 6, and she can solo kill, well, I want to say pretty much anyone who's going to be in her lane.
Now, the good news for MSI is she doesn't have enough mana to use her full kit, but if she has her full kit, that is pretty much guaranteed kills. I guess the good news for MSI is that Clockwork's getting a good amount of experience, but he's not putting any pressure on this Queen of Pain. 25 and 18. In fact, he's been denied so much that he's at a full level disadvantage.
Well, he's still doing okay despite that, and he really will need a lot.
Ooh, Cask in mid again, looking for the Light Strike Array. Not going to happen.
Well, Jesse Vash does a haste rune. Cast has to watch out for the Laguna Blade, because there it is. Right clicks will kill off the CM. Not the kill that they wanted, but it's a kill that they'll be happy to get regardless of that fact. Maledict won't kill off the Storm Spirit, but we'll drop him incredibly low. Meantime, up towards top lane, Rocket Barrage doing a little bit of damage to Cuckoo, but he's so fast because of the mid lane state of the game. Cuckoo's going to get hexed up. Still 1029 charging forward. Raven, another Rocket Barrage available, should be fine. Not going to pop it just yet. Cuckoo, 428 movement speed, will back off. There's a missile on his tail, although I don't think that's going to do that much. Mineski, they're sitting on this mid lane, and already, like, the Storm Spirit matchup is bad. It really can't get any much worse, can it?
He is CSing at about the same rate as the Lina, but he's died twice, and that really puts a damper on things. He's 2 full levels behind the Lina. Things get a little bit better once he gets to level 6, especially the Paralyzing Cask won't be as reliable a way to open up kills onto him, but still, DJ isn't going to have a good enough time for MSI to feel comfortable with their situation this game. Just Vash will look for the Cask, but can't find it.
Really, the heroes that they have aren't necessarily snowball heroes outside of the Storm Spirit, of course. Like, Storm Spirit, if you get off to a good start, you could just win the game by yourself, but you know, Clockwork having an okay start really is dependent on his allies to actually set things up. He does have Rocket Barrage, or Battery Assault rather, that's being leveled up, maybe not maxed out, but still getting that means that he can get some kills. But other than that, Gyrocopter, he's going to need quite a bit of time before he's actually just a true powerhouse, whereas for Mineski, Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain, and Lina, all getting pretty much exactly what they want. They're on top of the last hit chart pretty comfortably at that, so these are true snowball heroes, and they can punish these more stagnant heroes of MSI. They might be looking for a dive actually up towards top. Not a ton of mana onto Undying, but he does eat the mango. There's the Cask and the Silence. Raven not going to get silenced. Silence Circle spending a little bit too much time sitting there, and now they're going to try to turn things around perhaps, but with this Tombstone down, MSI once again probably would be better off not fighting.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to go for that, but in other news, there are 3 bottles going out for the MSI side, and although Clockwork, Storm Spirit, and Gyrocopter all benefit from having that regen, this is pretty risky when they don't have map control to keep those runes on their belt. So, I don't know, Mineski are really in a great situation to keep the pressure, and already at about a 5,000 net worth advantage and 3,000 experience lead. This is pretty big for 6.5 minutes into the game.
That's a huge advantage for such an early stage. And it's not like it's going to get any better. MSI, though, getting the bottles certainly is nice for your sustain. If you do end up getting dove and dying, or if the Lina picks you off or something like that, then these bottles are pretty much, well, I guess, maybe not 2,100 gold total, sometimes 1,400, but it's gold that will be just sitting there not doing much. Whereas the gold for Mineski, Lina's building into a Yule Scepter. Now, that will actually serve to get some kills, even maybe save herself versus the likes of the Storm Spirit. Queen of Pain, not really getting a ton of items right now, just getting the basic stat items for her, but rest assured she'll be getting something that hits a little bit harder than a bottle.
Yeah, for sure. Jules in mid's going to be zipped upon by the Storm Spirit. He's going to go a little bit deeper, trying to slow her down with the Hex and the follow-up disable. That'll be a much-needed kill for MSI.
Finally, Storm Spirit grabs his level 6, and shortly after that grabs his level 7. So it's a really big kill on this Lina right now. Mineski, they don't really have great supports for actually teleporting in and helping out. No Dazzle or anything like that. So, Witch Doctor's going to stick up towards top with Cuckoo. Maybe they get the tower in trade, and that seems like a decent one. Raven with the deny, well, easily done. Cuckoo with like, what, 10 damage off of killing that tower with that last hit. So, yeah, for MSI, those are the types of plays that they actually need. They need the Storm Spirit to get more mana so he could keep on doing that.
Yeah, it's going to slow down the advantage of Mineski a little bit. They're still not in a comfortable situation, but if they can do that another couple of times, they will find themselves in a much better place. They'll start stacking Ancients as well. This is something that they can look to get some extra farm on the Gyrocopter, although not yet. He's going to need a lot more experience before that's reliable.
Yeah, he did slow down for that level 1 homing missile, so Flat Cannon not as strong as it could possibly be. And, therefore, all of his other experience income is going to be slowed down as well. Homing Missile has, though, pretty much kept him safe. Not completely safe, but he hasn't died. And I think just the threat of that Homing Missile, putting Mineski on a real timer when they go for those dives, is doing pretty well for him. And he doesn't have any mana issues. He's completely at full right now. But he might actually get jumped upon up towards top, because Queen of Pain has Sonic Wave and a blue rune in her bottle. That's not what you want to see as any hero. They also have Bloodseeker coming up, but Bloodseeker actually spotted by the Storm Spirit is going to blow the entire thing.
Yeah, there's no way the Gyrocopter gets cut out here, or at least he shouldn't. They'll show Cuckoo into the lane. They know that there's backup, and in the meantime, that's going to give Rior some space in bottom. He's going to find himself level 7, but Gyro, he walks up for the homing missile, but he's still under his tower. He walks around the corner, blink forward by the Queen of Pain. They'll get the slow, and it looks like they want to dive him. They have a TP on Raven, and that's going to keep him out to safety as the Witch Doctor's too far in the back.
Yeah, and Jules is all the way over in the mid lane. Just wants to get his Yule Scepter up. We do have a smoke right now. Level 4 Lion, level 4 CM. Not really a super potent duo. I feel like even if they do catch someone, unless it's someone like a Witch Doctor, they will really struggle to actually get that kill. Maybe it'll be just enough to catch someone like Alina, but yeah, I don't really know if it's going to work out with an Undying right next to her. It's a bad situation for those two supports to be in. They're looking, however, for aggression on this mid lane, but unfortunately for them, Mineski aren't too far away to reinforce. So, yeah, they may lose their Lina right now, but with so many heroes converging on mid lane, Mineski are pretty much guaranteed to get someone in trade.
Yeah, for sure, especially since Rior is down the bottom lane. I thought he'd rotate with the smoke of the two supports over towards mid. If they really want a great chance at getting these kills, this could end up blowing up in MSI's face. There is a TP on the Clockwork, so he can look to turn things around at the tier 1 tower, but these two supports are going to get so isolated if they actually decide to go.
It's also worth noting that the Undying does have level 2 in Soul Rip right now, so the creep wave is not too far away. Should a Tombstone drop and you have a creep wave there, then Soul Rip is going to be a pretty nice healing tool, since usually it's going to be Tombstone at level 3 at this point, and that'll be a little bit less useful for actually keeping Jules alive. But I do like how MSI are actually trying to go for this. I would rather like to see them add the Clockwork to this gank train, because getting on top of the Lina with the Lion and CM follow-up, that can guarantee a very fast kill. But yeah, Clockwork just sticking around the bottom lane for a little while longer. Doesn't have maxed out Battery Assault nor maxed out Rocket Flare, so is going to need a little bit more experience before he can actually help out and do significant damage. Right now, he's pretty much just a walking hook shot. Yeah,
fair enough. Well, we're going to stay paused, and I think you're pretty much on the money there. That MSI, if they keep this game going at the same pace, that's Mineski's game, so they need to shake something up, but I'm not sure if this is exactly what they need. Yeah, I don't think they know where the Undying is the biggest issue. If you take a look at their warding vision, they do have ward around the mid area, but I don't think Undying has yet walked into that range.
It seems unlikely right now. The vision state for both teams is actually pretty darn good. Mineski feeling pretty comfortable just walking through the enemy jungle, because when you're, this far ahead this early on, you probably should feel comfortable. Also going to take care to block off a couple of these camps. I don't really know what the sentry on the left side of the map is doing, but definitely taking care of that hard stack for either the Gyrocopter or the Storm Spirit. It was cleared out by someone. Probably the Storm Spirit went ahead and did that. I know Cass was stacking that up. I didn't exactly see who actually caught it. I would say probably just judging off the CS of the Storm Spirit, it was probably him, but we're going to see the smoke now. Will give 1029 a little bit of space. Boomback's going to show himself. Decay, number 1, going to give 1029 a little bit more HP. Here comes a big ball lightning, plus the hook shot. That's going to kill off the Undying immediately, but here comes Trolley. 2-man Sonic Wave, 3-man actually. That's going to get 2 immediately with Boomback's on the run. Trolley just 5 seconds away from a blink. Blink, Scream gets a kill. Unless Boombax is like a seer with his spike. No, it's not going to happen. It's a double kill for Trolley. And yeah, I mean, I liked Royer showing up there with the Clockwork, but Sonic Wave, man. Sonic Wave is pretty good.
Yeah, that Light Striker Ray just set everything up. Once they got caught up by that, it was pretty much all over from there. And immediately after the fact, Tier 1 tower in mid is going to end up falling very quickly to Mineski. Although it's a risky move, it's not going to pay off for MSI. They're going to start this game off 7-2. And the Gyrocopter is falling so far behind. If you compare his net worth, he's closer to the supports than he is to the Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain, and Lina.
Somehow CM is the only one to get away from that, and CM is the one that you want to be losing in those engagements. You want to keep that Storm Spirit alive. He burned all his mana getting in, thought there was no one around, but was sorely mistaken. So, yeah, MSI losing heroes that they really can't afford to be losing anymore. Like, they've already been losing these heroes a lot. You got to stem the bleeding somewhere, and Queen of Pain going to collect pretty huge off of that. Hazaroba the Magi is going to be slowly but surely working towards that Orchid. So Storm Spirit, yeah, you have a Soul Ring. That's nice, but Trolley is going to have a pretty good counter to that, and will just straight up damage.
Yeah, the rest of the Oblivion Staff's on the Courier, so she's just an Oblivion Staff plus a couple 100 gold till she has the completed Orchid. It's going to be hard zipping mid, however. They're going to look for the kill onto Jesse Bash, and they'll succeed, but Storm Spirit's going to blow a lot of his mana. He's going to get ruptured up, and with no TP for 20 seconds, this should be a dead storm as Lena's coming in with the Haste Rune. Yule's Scepter to set things up. Light Striker Ray right on the money, and they should have the burst damage if they blow the Laguna Blade, but he's going to be able to zip down to the low ground. One auto attack from Lena. Is he really going to get out of here alive? I don't think so. With Bloodseeker coming in like a bullet train, 520 movement speed. They'll get the freeze coming out from Cast. They'll buy them a little bit of space. Blink forward, Queen of Pain's going to slow down Cast, and Bloodseeker's going to chase forward for DJ. Storm Spirit gets a little bit more of a zip. The Bloodseeker's diving tier 2s. They have no TP response, and Bloodseeker will get the kill. Imagine if there was a call down or a hook shot or anything. But MSI are going to lose in a big way. I thought that would bite them, not going for the Laguna Blade, but in the end, it gets them an extra kill.
Yeah, they just, I guess, all planned, I'm sure, baited the CM into thinking that she could help the Storm Spirit, but when you have a Bloodseeker on your ass like that, there's not that much you can do. Really surprising seeing both the Clockwork and the Gyrocopter without TP, so Gyrocopter didn't have a TP. Now he has one, but yeah, as you said, a Rocket Barrage, it's all you need to maybe even, well, for sure, save your Storm Spirit, maybe even get a kill on the Bloodseeker in response, but the fact that neither of these two heroes are prepared, I mean, the Lion had his, but if Lion teleported in, he's level 5 right now, pretty much dies also, so yeah, it's a really weird situation to be in. Over towards the mid lane, they do catch the Queen of Pain, but now Yule's Scepter. This time you're going to use the LSA Laguna Blade, right? There you go. A little bit of greed from Jules previously, but hey, now he has the Laguna Blade to get the kill now, and over towards bottom lane, Boombax gonna get jumped. Sound Circle is down. This will finally connect, and here comes the bullet train. 5-10, 2 hits, all he needs. Well, Boombax turns around and gets the Hex. Spike available as well, and looks like they will disengage cleanly. However, the tower will be the price.
The trade in mid is still pretty good for MSI. Losing Clockwork for the safe lane farming Queen Pain is going to give a lot of gold not only to the Clockwork, but also to the Gyrocopter, and they're going to need a lot more where that came from, even though it is okay for them, especially since they lose a tier 1 in bottom, and Cuckoo's running with the hand of Midas now.
This Bloodseeker is going to get really, really big. He's going to be difficult for MSI to actually deal with. Their burst damage is fine if they actually only have to deal with this Bloodseeker, but if he has any sort of backup with the Lina with the Quap,
zip up top.
Jesse Bash. Yeah, wrong place, wrong time, although usually between your tier 1 and tier 2s, you're going to be pretty safe. DJ is on the hunt right now. He's starting to slowly recover, but he's also going to be converged upon by everyone and their mom. He has to TP out like right now.
Zip TP is going to be successful. Lina's way too far away to cancel out with the Yules, and it's going to be a successful rotation coming out from DJ. Storm Spirit's really the only hero that's keeping up on the MSI side, and if you can only pick one, I guess Storm is probably the hero that you want that gold on to. He can stretch his advantage by quite a lot. Getting this Yule Scepter is going to help a ton when it comes to initiation. Even without farm, the Gyrocopter can contribute with the call down in Rocket Barrage.
I feel like Royer is kind of sleeping on this Clockwork, however. He's pretty much at the point where Clockwork wants to be in order to get these kills. Perhaps not as farmed as he wants to be, like he doesn't even have an urn yet. He has Tranquil Bottle, that's it. But he has used one hook shot, I think, and it got the kill on the Undying, but got him killed as well. If you're going into heroes like Witch Doctor, hell, even like Bloodseeker is a hero that you can actually do some serious work against as a Clockwork, since most likely he's going to be by himself for the most part. So Royer has been kind of just camping this bottom lane, hasn't really been pushing it, hasn't really been farming it a ton. I feel like this Clockwork just hasn't been in this game.
Yeah, for the most part, but he's going to look for Lina, catches the hookshot between the creep waves. Jules, however, does have the Yule's Scepter down to the call down. Jules gonna be dropped low, but turns around for the kill on Gyrocopter and lives herself with a little bit of help from the Soul Rip coming out from the Undying. And well, although that's an okay move to make if you have even farm with the Lina, not when you're this far behind.
I don't know if that was the definition caster's curse or not, since Clockwork, I guess, tried. He tried his best, but ended up getting his Gyrocopter killed, unfortunately for him. Keep in mind that this Lina does have, at this point, a point booster, so if she doesn't have that, maybe it's a little bit closer for MSI at the very least, but she's actually not too fragile right now. 1000 HP is pretty much neck and neck with all of the tankier heroes. In fact, has more HP than the Undying, which is weird, but hey, she's a level 11 hero. Jules is pretty tanky right now, and we'll be going for that pure damage, so once that comes up, Sonic Wave already level 2, that's a lot of pure damage to MSI, and well, they're not exactly super tanky themselves. Just, landing a Laguna Blade on one of these targets like CM or someone like that is very dangerous territory. In fact, CM, will not get one shot right now by the Laguna Blade, but it's close.
I mean, at this point, it's probably not even worth going for the Laguna Blade on the support since the cores are also so squishy. Storm Spirit might be able to dodge Laguna with the Evil Scepter once that comes out, but this Gyrocopter in particular is so far behind. He's trying to mass stats as much as he can. He has a Circlet, Gauntlet of Strength, probably going to get a Bracer, has the Belt of Strength inside his inventory, but he's going to need a lot more than that, especially once the Ags comes out for Lina. She's more than halfway there.
Yeah, then she could solo kill everyone with her combo. Like, I don't think anyone is actually safe. And if she has any help, then that's going to be definitely many, many kills for Jules. So, yeah, the MSI team needs to get some sort of recovery going. They have one stack of Ancients, or I guess a double stack of Ancients, and that's fine, but everything else is not really that stacked up. In fact, their jungle is very awkwardly stacked with like half camps and kind of dual camps. But aside from that, is there anything that they could actually do to get back into this game? It seems like Roshan is like completely off the table. Going for team fights is off the table. Going for picks, probably.
Yeah, that seems to be the only course of action, but they're spotted out so much by the wards that are currently placed out by Mineski in the bottom and the mid lane, right next to the tier 2s. So these rotations are going to be hard to pull off. It kind of has to be the Storm Spirit and the Clockwork to set things up.
And those are the heroes that you really don't want to lose, so you have to use them, but you don't want to lose them. It's a high risk, decent reward, and that's not really what you want to do. Trolley's going to be baiting right now. And MSI, I think they're kind of biting. They're going to throw a missile right now. We'll see Trolley. We'll see nobody else. Hookshot into 3 with the cogs under 3 as well. But Royer's going to take a lot of damage in the meantime. Death Ward is going to force everyone else away from the clock. So he's just going to die. And everyone else thinking about coming in. Rupture will be casted on the Gyrocopter. Will force him out. In the meantime, Trolley messing with Boombacks right now. Finger of Death is there. He will decide instead to straight TP out. Decay, not enough. They will get 1 kill only for Mineski, but even though that was a pretty nice hook shot, stunning 3, cogs connecting to 3 as well, it was a trap for Mineski the entire time.
Yeah, it was a great hook shot if it was only the Queen of Pain there, but they came prepared. It's a very interesting smoking, not one you see very often. Usually Queen of Pain will feel comfortable enough to push out these waves as far as she did. Calldown's going to delay this push a little bit. Now the Clockwork's back online, but Mineski are still sitting on a huge advantage. That's your full Orchid on the Queen of Pain that was delivered. Bloodseeker sitting on 2,000 gold on top of his Ogre Club and Midas, and Lina is... Oh, actually, no, it's not an Aghanim Scepter. She's going to go for the Bloodstone build. Very popular during TI5, and I think that's fair enough. It's so nice to be able to spam out your spells and keep max Fiery Soul at all times.
And also, it's really early in the game to just have a Bloodstone as well. It doesn't seem like Storm Spirit's going to be getting a Bloodstone pretty much ever in this game. Like, Yule Scepter is good, especially up against the Orchid. He really needs to get some way of dispelling that, but this Lina is going to have so much HP, which is problematic in and of itself. And as you said, being able to keep up Fiery Soul stacks because you have pretty much infinite mana is a threat in and of itself. And because she is gone for this Bloodstone, it doesn't really mean she can't go for the Aghanim Scepter later on. Pure damage Laguna Blade is nice, but at this point, she's just doing so much with her base skills that you don't really need that extra bump of damage.
And even without the Ags, just put the Blood Rage onto Lina, and you can one-shot people with your Laguna Blade regardless.
Alright, so we'll see what they actually want to do, Mineski, if they want to sit back and wait for the item to come up on the Lina. They do have a mech being built on the Undying. I think at that point, they should feel pretty much comfortable enough just go for the tier 2 towers straight. No BKBs or anything coming up on, I guess, on the Bloodseeker. That might be an item worth waiting for. Wait for BKB on him, wait for the mech on Undying, then you just go for the tier 2s.
Yeah, sounds about right. They're getting to the point where they can very easily start balling up. Yet another pause. This is starting to get very annoying, but even if they are lagging a bit, I think Mineski are still in a pretty comfortable position this game.
Well, the lead hasn't really been increasing a lot, I guess.
I think mostly that's due to pauses, though. All of
Oh,
those flat lines
fair
are...
enough. I was gonna try to find some sort of bright spot there for MSI, since it's like, oh well, you're not actively getting more behind, you're just not getting back into it. But yeah, it seems like with all these pauses, might jank up the EXP and gold graph just a little bit. But either way, we'll see if MSI can actually find really anything. Like Gyrocopter right now, oh, gonna walk right into Trolley. There's the Orchid available with the Shadow Strike, Blink Forward, Scream, Sonic Wave will miss actually, as Trolley does get Hex Stuff. Spike is there as well, and here comes the Storm Spirit. That'll kill off the Queen of Pain. Not like the Sonic Wave would have killed Raven anyway, but still, Trolley biting off way more than he can chew.
Yeah, that's some good news for MSI. DJ is still doing pretty well on the Storm Spirit. He's being outfarmed by the 3 cores coming out from Mineski, but he's at least keeping neck and neck, and the Storm Spirit shouldn't die, at least solo to any of these heroes. He has the Yule Scepter himself, so Lina's combo is anything but reliable, but a smoke down in bottom, yeah, it's brewing.
Cuckoo looking for someone to rupture. It's going to be the CM. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. Silent Circle is there. Cogs going to kill out the Crystal Maiden so she couldn't get away, although I'm pretty sure she was dead anyway. Also going to silence Royer as Raven does deploy the call down. Cuckoo's going to put Blade Mail up and just charge forward. Raven going to try to TP out. Yule Scepter will be there. Now this Gyrocopter is guaranteed to fall, and Boombax in the meantime eating a full Death War from Jesse Bash. We'll finally get the Hex out, but now here comes Cuckoo. Once again, the bullet train is choo-chooing into Boombax's face right now. Not going to kill him in 1 hit, going to kill him in 2. And a Courier also dies. Looks like there was a Radiant Courier. DJ probably was the one to grab that one as he will juke out Trolley. It's still a 2-for-1 trade though. Mineski take down the Gyrocopter. That's a big kill for them.
Yeah, very important, but still the Storm Spirit maintains a spot amongst the enemy heroes. That Courier Snipe's very important. It allows MSI to at least get something. They had the completed mech on the Undying flying out to themselves, and they do lose the Undying too, so it's not a clear-cut victory for Mineski. In fact, that's a slight gold advantage for MSI, although the experience does go Mineski's way.
Yeah, just trading the kills for that Courier. Storm Spirit doing his best to just be a nuisance right now. 20 minutes in, and already resorting to well, desperation tactics, not really in a desperate way, but usually cutting creeps in between tier 1 tier 2. You only do that if you're actively being pushed. And well, for Mineski, they're not really getting as much in the way of structures as I thought they would. The destroying of the Courier and therefore delaying of the mech is really going to slow down Mineski by a little bit. Bloodseeker will close it onto his BKB in the meantime, but we do have Jules on the hunt right now. We'll run straight into 2 heroes. Has Yule Scepter by himself a little bit more time, plus Bloodstone. Very tanky right now, but misses his entire combo. Yule Scepter not even being used, although I'm pretty sure he was screwed anyway. Lina just walks right into a death trap. Even if you're, even if there's no observer ward here, walking around like that as any hero by himself is incredibly risky, so yeah, I don't know why she did that.
Yeah, if you're going to go for that rotation, at least smoke yourself and probably smoke some buddies to take along with you when you're going for something that aggressive. And that's going to loosen Mineski's grip on this game. In fact, Storm Spirit after that kill is at the top of the net worth chart. So MSI are starting to find a foothold, at least for the Storm. Gyrocopter still has a ways to go before he's caught up, but also the Gyrocopter is pretty tanky. He has his Sanji, he has his Bracer, and now it looks like they want to go for a kill on the Queen of Pain. Lion's going to come from the north. He has the Blink Dagger. Blink Hex is a kill, but a Blink down to the south, and Queen of Pain will be fine, at least for now. Now Lina's coming in for the turnaround. If they can catch somebody on the retreat, that's a dead Raven. Running forward, Yule Scepter is going to be on the mark. Light Strike Array is going to clip him, and they have the Lagoon Blade going to throw it out, and Raven is going to fall, and Lion too, as he's orchided up. Boombox is going to be smacked down, and that's going to be 2 kills for Mineski.
Can they get any structures off of this? They've been getting quite a few kills. They'll try to go for this tier 2. In fact, they will ping it out. In the meantime, Cuckoo, he's invis. He's the Clockwork. Do you really want to mess with this one? Yes, he does. Cogs go up, however. Roar's going to straight TP out. No kill there. Oh, Cask almost connecting onto that Clockwork. And, well, we'll get away to safety. Bottom lane tower is going to be pushed. However, Cuckoo can maybe even set up for a secondary tower as well. There's still 15 seconds until the Gyrocopter's back up. And even though he may be alive in 10 seconds, I don't really know if he wants to fight right now. So one tower at least is going to be drawn by Mineski, and they don't really lose that much in exchange. However, oh, top lane, that'll be denied. So even tower denies there. Past 1.5 minutes, really working well for Mineski, except for that Lina suicide.
Yeah, and even after that suicide, she's still sitting on 7 Bloodstone charges, although not ideal, is not terrible either, and is up to 1,600 gold on top of it. Going to pick up another point booster. This should be the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, and Cuckoo's also stealing the stack of Ancients. It's not really, a ton of gold there since it was only 2 stacks, or 2 camps, but still, it's gold that MSI are not going to be seeing again, and I haven't really been super diligent about clearing out this camp, and even leaving the small Drake alive as the BM move from Cuckoo. He has a Shadow Blade, and he is on the hunt. It's a little bit difficult since MSI are kind of clumping up as a team, but yeah, Cuckoo either way is going to be sitting on a lot of assassination potential, pretty much equal to that of the Queen of Pain and Lina.
Mineski are kind of stalling out, however, the Storm Spirit has maintained his advantage, and now a smoke up coming out from MSI. Could very easily turn around for a couple of kills, as Mineski are very spread out. However, Mineski still have a tier 1 tower in mid, so they could respond if they go for too aggressive a dive.
DJ is leading the charge right now. We do have TPs going towards mid. Looks like there's a smoke brewing for the Mineski side as well. However, they will run into DJ. Static Remnant will see Trolley jump in. Trolley's going to straight blink out of there. No electric vortex being used, and now Cuckoo, he's in Viz. He sees Boombacks, and he wants in. I don't know if he should want in, though. The rest of his team a little bit far behind. Boombacks, though, going to get ruptured. Cuckoo's going to slow down. Blade Mail is up. DJ can't quite get the team off that line, and line will go down to the Sonic Wave. Now, Storm Spirit will fall. Ball ending out again. TP as well into the tower. Oh, not quite enough damage. And Storm Spirit will survive. But, yeah, that was an incredibly aggressive dive for MSI. Like, I think once you get to the stairs near the secret shop, that's when you stop.
Yeah, probably. But it only costs them the Lion, so it's not the end of the world for MSI. It's just a slight gold acquisition for the Mineski side, and since Queen of Pain doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter, the Sonic Wave cooldown is pretty significant, especially when she wants to go for solo kills, like one on the Gyrocopter and bottom. She's going to need a little bit more help than this, and the Gyrocopter could have backup in theory coming out from the Storm Spirit and CM, so Queen of Pain will blink away.
That was pretty much just a bluff the entire time. Like, she didn't have her Sonic Wave, and MSI should have known that. Yet still, Trolley gets the Gyrocopter out of lane, makes him fall back to do, well, pretty much nothing, since there's nothing to do in the meantime in this area. So, yeah, Trolley doesn't really expend that much, and while she's doing that, the rest of the team, they're smoked up, and they may actually intercept the rest of MSI right now. With Jules leading the way, I have a feeling whoever's going to run to is going to get a face full of lightning, although it's going to be Raven. Oh no, Gyrocopter Spike is there from Boombacks. Only going to connect onto the Undying, though. Hex into Jules will get Raven a little bit more time out. Rupture is there, however, Raven will go down to just the beating of the Undying and the Bloodseeker. Now going for Boombacks. Big Laguna Blade from downtown. Going to get that kill on the Lion. That was like a full health Lion, or close to it. Jules going to draw a double kill, and Mineski can look towards another tower now.
The damage coming out from Laguna Blade does more than 700, which is Crystal Maiden and Lion's full health pool. It's not a happy time to be either of these supports. So Crystal Maiden Glimmer Cape will help. She doesn't even have that yet. And now straight to Roshan coming out from Mineski as Lina pounds away with her maxed out Fiery Soul. Cuckoo's there with the amp on Roshan. This should be a very easy Aegis for them. This opens a tier 2 push at the very least for Mineski, and probably even high ground.
Yeah, they could definitely think about going for high ground. Obviously, tier 2 is a little bit easier right now, but hey, they could just take team fights pretty much non-stop until this Aegis is actually consumed. And I could see MSI, taking down the Aegis one more hero, but I don't really see MSI winning any team fights, like decisively winning a team fight. I just feel like that's not going to happen with the mech up on the Undying, with the additional heals from the Witch Doctor, plus a Glimmer Cape on him. Like, even getting rid of this Aegis is pretty difficult, since this Queen of Pain, first of all, has a lot of health, second of all, has a BKB.
Yeah, well, then let's see where Mineski's going to go. At the moment, they're just going to attend to their lanes. Lina's pretty isolated up towards top, and she will be pinged out. But actually going for that's a different story entirely, as they don't have vision of the supports or the Bloodseekers, so it's actually very hard for them to go for any sort of rotation. Mid lane, they're going to clump up. The Gyrocopter's going to show his face with Lion behind him. But Shadowblade in. Cuckoo is going to run for it. They don't have any follow-up, however, so that shouldn't be it. Oh, he's got a Rupture. Boombacks is in a lot of trouble if they can get any further damage, and he'll start running and die on impact. That Blood Right.
That did a lot of damage, although I guess it's pretty much because Lion doesn't have a lot of health. It just looks like it did a lot of damage. But yeah, poor Lion, man. He has a Blink Dagger, which, considering the state of the game, is actually not too bad. But he just hasn't really been able to use it a lot. Like, he's still level 8 with the Blink Dagger, and that's it can only give you so much when the enemy team has so much power. Tower's actually going to get backdoor protected for a little bit, but yeah, this will eventually drop. Will Mineski go up high ground? They still have the Aegis. I think they still can get away with it, and it looks like they will. They'll just try to poke up the high ground, see what they can find. Raven with the call down is going to thin the creep wave, but will that actually do it? Mech up, and it looks like Mineski will be a little bit cautious.
It's going to delay for another creep wave, and buy a little bit of time for Storm Spirit to split push top. He'll drop the tier 2 below half, and it looks like he might even be able to get it, although the Storm Spirit does have a TP and can be involved in the next fight should that happen. They're going to ping him out, and it looks like they want to stop this. They'll TP in with the Lina, try for the Eul Scepter combination, not going to find it. Zip away by DJ is going to keep him safe, and with that, that's the end of Mineski's push.
Oh, it's still a tier 2 tower available up on the top lane. Still, Queen of Pain has that double life, and she even has an Invis rune as well. There was some detection on MSI, although I'm not really sure what happened to it. They're going to hug a sentry, and they won't be caught by Trolley just yet, but Trolley might walk right into it. In fact, he will. There's a Finger of Death available, and Trolley's so dead right now. Spike is there. Finger of Death will be used. There's the Aegis. She could probably blink out, although Cass does have a Frostbite. Cogs, that's a little bit too far away. Trolley's going to pop the BKB. Blink straight out. And how much mana does DJ have? Enough to chase, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, that'll force out a very high second BKB. In fact, that was the 10-second charge coming out from her. The Cogs were a little bit off the mark. They'd have better chances of killing her if those bounced her back, but I think the outcome's about the same. Tier 2 tower and top lane going to be pressured by Jules as well as Cuckoo in the absence of the entire enemy team, but can they actually get it? Looks like they can. The amount of damage was underestimated by me at the very least. I thought MSI could have put up a defense.
Well, they were a little bit scared in the situation over in mid. Royer is being stalked by Cuckoo. Rupture range is pretty high, and his movement speed is even higher. Although he won't necessarily find the vision on him. So now all the tier 2 towers are down. Mineski have lost the Aegis. Going for a high ground push, not as attractive right now, yet they're still getting a ton of farm on Cuckoo. He's going for the SNY. I think soon he should have a BKB. Been saying that for quite a long time, however. So yeah, we'll see if Cuckoo actually does end up getting that one. Once he does have that item, maybe Lina gets hers as well. Then with the triple BKBs, I don't really see MSI doing too much to save themselves from a high ground push. Stalling things out as far as like tricky tactics are concerned can only do so much, and Storm Spirit, you know, that's probably his job right now, but he's kind of being stalked by many a hero. He will jump down into the regen rune, then get the hell out of there. So he's trying his best to just mess with Mineski, but the rest of the team isn't really doing much in the meantime.
Yeah. The question is to what end? Can Gyrocopter get enough farm this game? And I don't really think so. You have a level 16 or level 3 Aghanim Scepter Laguna Blade up for Jules. And even if Gyrocopter had all of the farm in the world, that probably doesn't mean much when 2/3 of your HP is gone just like that.
And it could even, in this game, actually get a little bit more damage on the Laguna Blade, since Undying does have Flesh Golem, which is always hard to see because it's, well, for the most part, a passive skill. But that Laguna Blade can hurt. Still not like one-shot status, but easily like, what, how much damage is it? Only level 1? It does a lot.
In theory, with a max amp coming out from the Undying with the double Blood Rage, that can very easily one-shot the Gyrocopter. Even with one Blood Rage in the max Flesh Golem amp, that is a one-shot, so that's actually terrifying. We'll have to see if they choose to employ that. DJ's up towards top with the regeneration rune on the Storm Sphere, and I don't think he's going to get caught out here. He does have more than enough vision, should just be able to zip, but this smoke is going to pop. They'll try to run for him, but he'll zip down to the low, and that is going to be Storm Sphere getting out freely, although they'll continue the chase. Queen of Pain's going to bump into a Remnant, but he's going to keep on running with the regeneration rune still going. I'm pretty surprised he's sticking around here, but let's see if this pays off for DJ.
You know how people sarcastically say space created when they feed? This is actually the definition of space created. He just brought like 5 heroes from Mineski on a wild goose chase all around the map. Like, they looped around into the jungle, around into top lane, then all the way back to like the secret shop to find absolutely nothing. And Storm Spirit really wasn't in any trouble the entire time. Again, tricky tactics to try to buy yourself a little bit of time, and Mineski, they're just going to wait things out, get more farm, and wait for this Roshan. MSI, by that time, they need a little bit more in the way of damage, I feel.
Yeah, they will buy a little bit of space for Gyrocopter to farm Ancients, but he's still very far away from the presumed BKB, and then any damage after the fact is seemingly an eternity away. Clockwork's going to be down in bottom lane. Rior should be able to back off here, and at least for now, Mineski won't be able to push straight up, but they have gotten a lot of aggressive vision. Oh, long zip in with the Shiva's guard. They're going to go into Jules.
She's going to Yule herself for a little bit. Hookshot doesn't exactly connect, but we'll get the pullback into the cogs. Jules down 10-20, not looking too healthy either. He's going to get glimmered out, and now the cast going to be thrown to Royer. Will not bounce. Death Ward's going to be channeled. Queen of Pain doesn't really get any skills off at all. Kind of weird to see, but here comes Cuckoo. Ruptures up Boombacks. This Lion is so dead right now. He's going to be the first one to follow, though. No one's actually... Okay, maybe they're just going to leave him alive because they're merciful. No, Trolley actually going to get the kill in the end. Now DJ. Ball Lightning TP will get himself out of there. A super deep dive for MSI. Trading, however, the Lina for the Lion. So worth it, assuming they don't lose anyone else.
And it looks like they won't. Rior's over in the sidelines. The Clockwork's in a bit of a pickle here. He gets pinged out. Or that was pinged by the CM. So Rior is undetected. He's going to be just fine. Mineski, it kind of feels like they're overreacting a little bit to these Storm Spirit rotations, and they have been stalled out a lot. But Lina's right back up and running since she was sitting on a good chunk of Bloodstone charges, and now they can go again. They'll look for the Gyrocopter pinged up by the Bloodseeker. Chasing through the woods, they're going to find a Storm instead.
Well, Cuckoo can't kill a Storm Spirit. Needs a Basher or Abyssal or something like that, but he does have Jewels. That might be good enough. There's the L side. That'll connect. Laguna Blade is there as well. Bloodseeker. He's one more hit. I think the Storm Spirit's dead. There it is. Ball Lightning is pretty quick to come out, but not quick enough versus a Bloodseeker. So, yeah, Storm Spirit, even with the Yule Scepter, can't get out of there. He has a Bloodstone as well, which is nice. He'll be up, shorter than he would be otherwise. But still, it's not exactly the cleanest gang for Mineski, yet they are still so stacked that they'll get the kill anyway.
Yeah, this is very difficult. That's a hero that MSI cannot afford to lose in any circumstance, really. It's going to be mitigated by the fact that he's back up before they can go for a tower push, but that's so much gold as well. They get the dominating spree off of him. That's the Bloodseeker.
And, well, unfortunately for Mineski, off of that kill, they're not going to be able to go straight into Roshan. It's a pretty medium respawn timer, but Mineski would like it to be absolutely minimum right now. They will just still wait it out, and, well, I wonder if Bloodseeker is actually going to go for the Basher Abyssal route, or just wants to upgrade the Shadow Blade.
I'd rather see just the more reliable lockdown this game. Breaking Storm Spirit's okay, and reducing the damage of Gyrocopter is nice, but I think just having the bash and for a chance of getting some extra kills that you wouldn't otherwise is probably better. You have a full Aghanim Scepter on the clock, so that's a good improvement for MSI, but at this point the Clockwork's time to shine is pretty much gone.
Yeah, it's nice to get the consistent stuns out in the hookshot, but I fear that even though he may, be able to do that, if he hook shots in once, unless it's going to connect onto like 3 heroes that we saw previously, he's just going to die straight after. Like, he's pretty tanky since Aghanim Scepter does give you a little bit of health, but considering the damage of Mineski, I don't think he's necessarily tanky enough. I'd like to see him wait on this Aghanim Scepter. Like, he's going to have it on such a low cooldown, but the last time he used it was, what, like 3 minutes ago at least? It doesn't seem like he's in a situation where he could use the lower cooldown.
Yeah, it's still nice stats, and I don't think there's anything that's necessarily better since he already has the Force, but ooh, blink forward by the Queen of Pain. They're going to get a Hill Ward up down the bottom area. Things have stalled out for quite some time. The BKB is up for the Gyrocopter. You have a 10-second charge, so that might be enough for MSI to turn around a couple of fights, but I can't see them doing it in anything else other than a high ground push or a smoke into the Roshan contest, and Roshan is already underway. And Mineski should be able to take this out without any hope of MSI to stop it, even though they do have vision with the flare.
Well, Storm Spirit will take a tier 2 on the top lane in the meantime, so it's a classic Roshan for tier 2 trade. Not exactly who should be receiving it, as per usual, but still, it's going to be Aegis claimed by someone, unless there's a sick hook shot. Clockwork's nowhere in the area. He's actually cowering in his base, so tier 2 tower drops in exchange for Roshan. Now the Queen of Pain has that one. It's time for Mineski to look towards ending this game. 1 racks at a time, definitely, but I think at this point, they're like even powerful enough not to just wait for a pick-off beforehand, although it will certainly be nice. Maybe they're going to smoke up for it? Do they even have any smokes? Doesn't seem like they do. They have the gem, they have double Glimmer Cape, and they are actually going to spot a Gyrocopter? No, Gyrocopter's going to spot the Bloodseeker. Don't blow your invis, Raven. That's a bad idea. Where's the gem? Gem is...
on the Lina.
Okay. Don't go to the Lina Gyrocopter. That's a bad place to be.
Absolutely. Lion and Storm Spirit are waiting in the wings. They spot out Trolley, but they have no idea where everybody else is. They're going to jump forward anyway. With the Finger of Death, they'll drop her low, but Glimmer Cape and Trolley is fine. Laguna Blade onto the Storm Spirit. Oh, blow him sky high as Bloodseeker notches that kill. They'll chase forward for Boombox, although the TP out will save one of them. It's not going to save the poor Lion as he's ripped apart by the Undying.
And hook, line, and sinker. MSI are just constantly falling for these ganks. TP attempted towards the mid lane. That was pretty ambitious, actually, from the Lina with no Laguna Blade. But still, that's the second time that MSI have seen Trolley specifically just farming it up, and then they try to go for the Queen of Pain kill. Yeah, I mean, it's nice if you can pick off the Aegis and then get out, since clearly Mineski aren't interested in pushing without a double life. But Mineski, they have MSI's number. If they could do that again, then it's just game over. But it already seems like it might be close to that territory, as MSI don't have their full force for another 15 seconds. That's 15 seconds of beating down the tower. There's a Fortify, there's Cogs, there will be a call down as well, but it's just a very short time until Mineski have all their ultimates back up online. Sonic Wave a little bit longer, however. It's not Agony.
Yeah, they're gonna start chunking away at this tier 3 tower, already down to half HP. They have the Blood Rage on the Queen of Pain. Maybe that'll set up for a kill on a Trolley, but everybody has BKB, and she has Aegis. The hook shot forward, get the Cogs bounce, and now zipping with the Shivas. Does a good chunk of damage and forces out the BKB of the Lina, but we have another pause.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting time to pause. MSI, they're definitely not interested in a full-on fight right now, since Mineski do still have the Aegis, but they jump in. Don't really expend too much, since it's just mana and cooldowns being spent, not really no high cooldowns at that. They also burn the BKB of Jules, and everyone on Mineski, they're pretty roughed up, so I think MSI have just held, while at the same time avoiding a full 5-on-5 clash, and that's perfectly ideal for them. That's exactly what they want to do.
Pretty much the dream scenario, but still, they're very far behind when it comes to net worth. Ooh, misclick, Cuckoo pops his BKB. That's really bad. But Cuckoo still has almost 5,000 gold, so that might make up for it.
Well, sometimes you just got to make the game a little more interesting, right? Pop the BKB. I don't think MSI definitely didn't see it, so they're not going to know about it, but yeah, that's not a good idea. Much like, deciding not to ban heroes. Probably not what you want to be doing in this game, but either way, Mineski still are incredibly powerful right now, and they see Boombacks, Cuckoo, what, like 3-shot territory? There's the Rupture, so no Blink Dagger right now. Boombacks gonna stay still. There's a Silent Circle, throws out the Spike. Lots of damage, not quite enough. Oh no, it will be enough. Trolley comes in with one right click, barely gonna slide in for that kill.
Another issue for MSI is, even though Gyrocopter is starting to get a little bit of farm, it's going to be put mostly into stat items, because he has to. If he doesn't go for them, he'll just be blown up at the start of every single one of these fights. But after that line pick-off, Mineski are going to feel comfortable enough to go for another high ground push, even without the BKB on Cuckoo yet. He has a full Scotty, so yeah, they're going to start working on again. Tier 3 tower is already down with Blood Rage on the Queen of Pain. They'll go for the melee barracks, and MSI are not stopping this. They'll glyph, and that's going to delay, but actually jumping in is very difficult. They'll get a lot of damage coming up from the Ball Light and Shiva's combination again, but is there any follow-up to actually get any of these kills? Trolley will blink away. They'll try to focus down onto the Undying with the Laguna Blade. Storm Spirit is going to go down. Mega kill for Trolley, and the melee barracks soon after. Cuckoo chasing forward onto poor Raven under his tier 4 towers. There's nothing he can do about it, and that's Mineski drawing the first barracks of the game.
They're all really roughed up, but it seems like MSI, they're done. It's kind of an anticlimactic ending, since it was like a slow and steady burn, but it was just a matter of time before Mineski were going to break the high ground, unless MSI did something super drastic. And they really didn't. Like, they got small amounts of time bought with the Storm Spirit plays, a couple trades here and there, but definitely not enough to actually delay the push. Definitely not enough to bring MSI into a winning position. They were just not losing. And of course, as I always say, not losing is not the same thing as winning. So Mineski, in this best of 5, are going to take game 1. This was a pretty convincing game at that. And guys, we'll be right back for game 2 in just a little bit, hopefully with fewer pauses. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Grandis V, so don't go anywhere. Game 2 between Mineski and MSI for the next game. Invitational will be happening shortly.